All right, moving on to his old story, but with a new take on it. The Face of the League story popped up while we were on vacation, and Brew wanted to give you the opportunity to comment on it. So here was LeBron responding to the original story, which started when Anthony Edwards said he wasn't interested in being the face of the league. Take a listen.
It's unfortunate, but like, I don't know. Why do you want to be the face of a league when all the people that that cover our game and talk about our game on a day-to-day basis on everybody? I mean, that responsibility, it's just weird. It's weird energy.
Weird energy. It's a great comment. Brew, your reaction.
There's so many angles to hit on this. First of all, I don't think that's why Anthony Edwards doesn't want to be the face of the league.
I think it's a piece of it.
I think it's because, and this is fair, I'm not criticizing him for this. I think it's because he doesn't want people in his lifestyle. I don't think it has anything to do with people going to be critical of my game.
Here was his quote. I want to be the guy that just shows up, hoops, kills dudes, and goes home.
Yeah.
Yeah, he don't want you in his business.
No, correct.
And LeBron has been terrific. Obviously got a great family life and everything. He's handled face of the league tremendously.
Yep.
Anthony Edwards just don't want you up in my business seeking out things and all that stuff. But here, let me say this first of all. The NBA, and this is one of the benefits of being a guy that covered the league for 25 years and just, being an older guy. I remember this. The NBA has always been criticized. Like, this is not new. I'll go by decade. In the 70s, the league was too black and it was too drug infested. That was the storyline. Yeah. And it was on tape delay, the championship games, because of it. In the 80s, even though you had Magic and Bird, the view was, oh, it's no parity. It's obvious. It's predictable. 5 teams in the whole decade of the 80s made the finals. 5. Yeah. That's it. The Rockets, the Sixers, the Lakers, the Pistons, and the Celtics. That's it. All right, so there was no parity. In the 90s, people were saying the league's watered down. Now they've expanded. They got a few more teams. The league's watered down. See, here you go. The league was watered down. And again, covering the league in the 90s, there was a lot of consternation over the low scoring. That was the first decade the league scoring had dropped into the 90s.
And there was one other, too much money too quickly. Like the
for the players?
Yes, like Chris Webber deal and the KG
That's why
deal.
they put in the rookie scale and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
And then in the 2000 and the aughts or whatever, who's going to take the place of Michael Jordan? And that was a search because the ratings dropped once Jordan retired. So you had this search. 2010s. Oh, now they're all friendly. LeBron, player empowerment. He goes to play with Wade and that all became a criticism. And now you got load management and three-point shooting. Now, I'm not saying the criticisms, some of them aren't valid, but I'm saying this isn't new. What's new is the technology and the landscape. What's new are shows like this, not new now, but daily sports shows where every day you talk about mainly the NFL and the NBA. And so LeBron James, I've said for years, and I stand by it, LeBron is the most scrutinized basketball player ever.
I think athlete.
And maybe American athlete ever, okay? But that is largely because of the landscape. So there are shows like this. And LeBron, and he's a friend of mine, and he's a legend. But LeBron had like one guy kind of dedicated to picking his game apart, and that was Skip Bayless. And every day, if LeBron missed a potential game winner in Utah on a Tuesday in January, it was
a referendum.
For five shows a day would talk about it, and Skip would obviously go off on it. When Jordan did that, nobody even remembers.
But did that happen in Utah? Because he was
not in Utah. Maybe that was the best. But you know what I mean? Like the scrutiny is crazy. And I will throw this in. Yeah. Because LeBron didn't want to make this about himself. This is largely about
It's about LeBron.
Because Steph is the face of the league. Mm-hmm. He's second to LeBron. Steph doesn't get this type of scrutiny and criticism. LeBron's polarizing because he does a lot off the court. He's outspoken about his politics and things like that. Player empowerment, going to Miami, people put that on him. And he's in the GOAT conversation. So all of that leads to LeBron being polarizing. And so this scrutiny is on him because of the landscape today. But it's not automatic. Because again, Steph doesn't get it at all. Like there's not much negative about it.
Well, I had a question. You go, and then I had a question.
Okay, so I think there's a bunch to it. I think a lot of the guys felt. So Simmons on his pod went through all the different faces, like superstar guys who got criticized.
During the past.
Yeah, from 70s to now.
Right.
And what all of those instances that he brought up, and listen, he is a basketball historian, they were accurate, had in common was they were all either about specific playoff failures, Tragic Johnson, or massive criticism before you got over the hump. Jordan before he won the title. Like that's what they all had in common. And up until this era, I think this era of guys, LeBron, KD, guys my age essentially, grew up seeing how the NBA was covered. And they all kind of understood the rules, which is until you win, people are going to be like, can you win? Right. But then once you win, you're a winner. And for this generation, those aren't the rules. It is a constant referendum even once you've won on no one like it is LeBron. And so LeBron is also dealing with a face of the league tenure, the likes of which we've never seen. You went through the list of them, Brew, like Dr. J for a brief period, Bird and Magic for a decade, but it was shared. Yep. You know what I mean? Yep. Jordan for 4 years, and then he retired, then 3 years. You know what I mean? So, like, he got a break from it.
He was before he started winning.
Okay, so for 5 years. All right, so for
he was largely once he got, I wouldn't say his rookie year,
so 6 years and then a break, whatever. But LeBron's been face of the league-ish from 07 to now, and the guy for a decade of that. Right. And so nobody's dealt with it, and then there is this piece of it. And I'm guilty of it. And I think this is the other thing he's talking about. Because it's not just him. LeBron, I feel, has been covered so unfairly is the wrong word, but as you said, daily dissection, and even with all the winning, still questions. The snapback of that is, how many times have you heard this on TV, either from me or others? Well, if it were LeBron, we'd be killing him. And therefore, we got to kill this guy. It's like, well, we did it to LeBron, so we've got to do it like Joker. I did it to him. Till he won, how do we know he can win? You know what I mean? With Giannis,
but that goes back to what you said, that until you win, you're going to get criticized.
Right, but I think even post, like Durant, like there's a lot of these guys, the way LeBron was picked apart then became the template for other guys, which is why I've said for a long time, I think the like Goldilocks zone of NBA life is being somewhere from the 10th to 20th best player in the league. It's like Devin Booker or Jaylen Browns. You get paid the same. When you're awesome in a big spot, everyone loves you. And when you come up short in a big spot, they blame the better player on your team. And so you get almost all of the accoutrement, none of the criticism, and when you're great, you can win Finals MVP. But like when you're the top guys, it is rough.
But Durant, the criticism of him is sometimes the burner accounts, that's way back, but him going at it with other just random people on social media, and then, yes, you won, and I give him credit for winning. But it was in a situation that we knew you were going to win.
But even with Steph had 3 rings. And we all said he needed the 4th.
MVP. Well, he needed to be Finals MVP.
Right, and so it just does feel like it's an extra level. What, Wilds?
No, I was just thinking. No, I was just thinking.
But I just think with LeBron, a lot of it's the GOAT conference. Like, it's because he's